Well, my friends, welcome to the drywall taping and mudding step in this video. What I'm going to be doing is showing you how to apply the tape coat plus 3 coats of mud, and we're going to get started right now. Well, my friends, I would like to start out by showing you what I'm going to be using for this these steps. All of these 3 steps I'm going to be doing in one step because putting the tape on and applying the mud is all one step. If you want to look at it that way, it actually takes 3 coats. So the first thing that we need, my friends, is we need some fiber tape, and that's a brand new roll that I went and got. The next thing you're going to need to sand down is you're going to need a sandpaper, or this is a drywall sponge brick. I like to use that because I can wet it down and it makes a less amount of dust as if I was using sandpaper or something. The next thing that you're going to need is some all-purpose joint compound. I do mix my coats in between the steps that I'm going to be showing you now, because I believe that if you thin it down, it's going to cover the cracks a little bit better. And because we're doing 3 different coats of mud, my friends, we're going to use 3 knives. So this is coat number 1. This will cover the tape coat. This is coat number 2, and that's going to be a little wider. I'll show you all of those together in a minute. This is the final coat of mud that we put on, and yes, we use that whole width, and we're going to need a drywall mud pan to put our mud in so we can apply it. So I'm going to show you the thicknesses or the widths of the mud. So there's the first one, or the last one I should say. There's the second one, and then there's the first one. So as you can tell, we have to feather this out, my friends. If we don't feather it out, it's not going to be an invisible patch. So we want to find an invisible patch. So we have to use all of the tools to make it a visible patch. So what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to get up on the ladder there now, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I think it's important that I explain removing some more of the popcorn texture that's up there. We're going to do that right now. Well, my friends, as you can tell, I'm up on the ceiling now, and I'm going to be showing you how wide do we go with this mud work. First thing I'm going to do is put my safety glasses on. That's the first thing you need to do. So we know how wide to remove the popcorn texture because of our final coat of mud that we got to put on. And see, this is a center part of this mud knife, or this trowel knife. So we want to put that in the center part of our seam, and then reach out to where that's got to be removed at. And I've already done that, my friends, and I've actually drew some lines on the ceiling here. As you can maybe can see some of the lines here. You can see this, yeah, you can see some lines over here, and right now, right here, you're seeing the seam, okay? So we want to feather it out. So basically, my friends, I'm just going to take my little atomizer bottle, mist bottle, and I'm just going to soak down out to that line. Just make a square patch is fine, my friends. And you're going to let that set for a little bit. You just want to do it on the area that you don't have it removed from wide enough. And then get your 5-in-1 tool that I was using, or any kind of putty knife or scraper that you have. And after that's set for a little bit, you can come up here and scrape right out to your line. Because when I shoot texture over that line, it's going to cover all that up, so you're not going to see that line. It just gives you a guide to go. And I did put on a work shirt that was white, because You don't really need a white one, but it helps because this is white stuff, and if it dries on there, it won't look so bad then. You can hear that roughness there now. And you can see the stuff falling in the video. So just keep coming around your edges, because trust me, you'll understand why when we make the final approach around this. If you pulled off any of the tape or any of the mud, you want to get that off of there too. So that was a loose piece. And just finish removing all that rough stuff from your spot. Then I just take my tool and go along the edge and knock off that rough stuff. And this stuff goes everywhere, my friends. Well, that's pretty much ready for me to put my wire on there now, my fiber mesh tape. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I forgot to tell you, you might want to use a utility knife to cut this. It's kind of hard to find the edge of it. The more expensive your stuff might have a piece that comes around it. So I'm going to pause my video here until I find this edge and start putting it up on there, because it could take me 15-20 minutes to find this, and I don't want to waste my video time, so I'll be right back. Okay, my friends, I found the edge here, so I'm just gonna go around and put this on here. And yes, I had to cut the piece, so I'm gonna have little strips that are gonna be coming out of here. Very difficult. If you're trying to save your money, buy the cheaper stuff, you get what you pay for, I guess, but in the end, I guess it'll work. Just kind of want to push it over your joint. You'll have a little strings that will come off the stuff. You don't want them getting in your way, so just go ahead and cut those strings off your patch material. You can tell what I'm talking about. It's kind of like paper thin stuff. And just make sure that you're covering that seam, because it will come through if you don't. Now you might noticing that I put a first coat of mud on here. Basically, my friends, all that was is a skim coat to cover up the imperfections that I did not like. There were some low spots that I wanted to make sure had a little extra help, because when you're doing a ceiling, my friends, it's difficult to make this perfect if you don't take a few extra steps. And what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to fold this edge of this tape over. As you can tell, I folded it over there. So now when I get ready to find that again on another project, I'll know where that ends at. So let's get ready to put my first coat of mud over this tape. Hold on. Well, my friends, I got my first knife up here, and I've got it in my mud bucket. As you can see right there, I mixed it up in the bucket a little bit and added a little water. So now I just want to put a little bit on my knife like that. I don't want to put a whole lot on there. And then I'm just gonna, ceilings are a lot different than walls, my friends. So you just basically want to do a cover coat of your tape I'm going to get down a little lower, my friends, so I can see what I'm doing, because right now I'm not really under it. So I'm going to leave the camera running while you're watching what I'm doing. Very important that you're seeing this process here, because like I said, patching a ceiling, my friends, is completely different than patching a wall that's flush in front of you. This is overhead, and the wall has more forgiving stuff on it than the ceiling does. The ceiling is not as forgiving as the walls, I guess is what I'm saying. Basically, I'm just trying to cover the tape and fill in any voids that are there. And as you can tell, my friends, I'm going 2 different directions to get this first coat of mud up here. I think that's kind of important because I'm just doing a ply coat. Remember I was talking to you about that paper or that felt that has those little strings? There's one right there. Now that's going to interfere with my mud, so I'm just going to get rid of it right now. And then I'll show you how I'm going to feather this as soon as I get it up here. I've got basically almost 3 sides of it done. Might look to you like I'm really doing a wide patch, and that's because we need to feather that out. It needs to be wide so we can finish our final coat. Now I'm going to smooth it as I feather it. What I'm doing here is basically getting rid of any ridges that I see up here. Other professionals might have another way of doing this, but this is how I have done it for so many years. So you want to come all the directions. You want to wipe your mud knife off in your bucket as you remove that mud to get down your roughness. If you don't take the time to do this when it's wet, it's going to be too thick when you sand, and you're going to have a hard time trying to feather all that out. Don't worry about filling all the voids in this coat. You got 2 more coats to go. Now, I'll come back tomorrow. We'll do a light sanding on this, and then we'll mix up another coat of mud, a little bit runnier, and it'll start dripping on me, but that's the way it goes. So, because I'm up here at eye level with it, I can see where my high spots are, versus if I'm down here lower, I can see those too. But don't worry about all of them right now, because we're going to be doing more coats of mud and thinning down our mud as we go. So don't overkill yourself with it. Don't overextend yourself so much, because like I said, there's 2 more coats going on with sanding in between each coats. Well, my friends, that's it for the first tape coat of mud. So we've removed a little bit more of the popcorn texture. We've put our tape coat on there, and we put our first coat of mud on there. So come back in the second coat of mud, and I'll show you that too, all in the same video. We'll see you in a bit. Well, my friends, welcome back to part 2 of this mudding job to finish out this hole in my ceiling. So it's going to get a lot of dust come down, so protect my bald head, I'll put my hat on, and then I'll put my mask on. and then my safety glasses. What you want to do is you just want to knock off the rough edges. Alright my friends, that's about all it is to do that. Like I said, if you did a really good job with your actual coat of mud, you won't have many ridges to sand down. You're probably wondering what's that behind me right there, my friends. That's some plastic that I put up between my dining room and my living room. I want to keep most of the dust in this room here, so that's what I'm doing. Now my friends, I'm going to mix up some my second coat of mud for this project, and I'm going to do that off camera, but then I'm going to show you what it looks like, and I'll be right back in a few seconds. Well my friends, I moved the camera a little bit different direction. I want you to be able to have a better view of what I'm doing back there. You're going to be looking over my shoulder, I get that. So I'm using my second width of my blade knife here, and I've thinned down my mud, my friends. So you want to do it so it just barely runs off your knife. If I go any more runnier than that, it's going to drip down on my head, and it's pretty much going to do that anyway. So I'm going to just be careful. And just like with the first coat, my friends, you want to just do a little bit on your blade. You don't want to cover your whole blade, just because you want to work that mud a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this a little bit so you can watch me mud that in. Enjoy the music, and I'll be back to talk to you as soon as I get my second coat of mud on that hole behind me. Up here so I can talk to you a little bit better, my friends. That's pretty much a wrap on the second coat of mud. As you can tell, I worked that seam the closest to me back there a couple of times. The reason for that is that's the most noticeable area. That's out into the main part of the room, and so I wanted to build that up and feather that out a little bit more. So we're going to come back in the third part of this video, and we're going to be putting the third coat on there, my friends, and we're going to feather that all the way out to the end, and that's how you do it. I wanted to do all three coats in this video, so that's what I'm doing. We'll see you in the third coat coming up next. Well, my friends, once again I have came to my third coat of mud, I have it sanded down, and I've mixed up my mud to make it a little loose. And I'm going to go ahead and have you watch over my shoulder as I apply this mud coat. I'm going to move the camera up a little bit so you can see the whole facade of what I'm doing. And I'll go ahead and watch as I widen out the mud to the final width of the third drywall putty knife. Okay, and I've already mixed up my mud. And again, you want to use a whole width of your knife of mud on it. If you do parts of it or half of it, it's not going to get you the same thing that you need. So let me get my safety glasses on here, and let's go ahead and get this third coat of mud done. I'm going to change the angle of the camera so you can see a little bit more up close. Hold on a minute. Hey, my friends, I've moved you so you can see the final product of the third coat. Do just a little bit simple touch-ups on it. The more you do here, the less sanding you have to do, but don't fret it too much, because the sandpaper or the sand block will take care of a lot of this. As you can tell, my friends, you cannot see the seam anymore, or the areas that I had to cover up. Like I said, do a good job. Take the time to do all your coats, and before you know it, you'll have a ceiling ready to put texture over. It does wear and tear on the arms a little bit, my friends, so you don't want to do it all in one day. Holding my arm up above my shoulder like that's a little intense. As you can tell, I've feathered it all the way out to the edges. So I feathered it to this edge here. I feathered it to this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge, and all the way to this edge, all the way down. So when I come back tomorrow, I'll do a light sand coat. Let me move my camera down a little bit. I'll do a light sand coat on it, and we'll spray some popcorn texture on it, and that'll come up in the next step when we get ready to texture. So my friends, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give me a like if you like this video. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. It also helps my algorithm to allow my channel to grow. And check out my playlist series on some of the other projects that I've done around my house. As you know, Jesus was a carpenter, and I like to follow in his steps. My friends, until the next video, may God bless you, may his face shine upon you, and may Jesus always bring you joy. I'll see you soon.